Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. It's Tiff with Voices for Independence Fitness and Activities. I am here to share another recipe with you. Today is Friday. We're at the end of, I believe, our third week where we have been running a 21-day wellness challenge, trying to help you get back on track with not only your physical health, but also your emotional, social, all of that contributes to your overall health. So don't forget to check out, I already posted the challenge for the day. It is about being positive, thinking positive, and trying not to complain. I know that's going to be a challenge for me. I have a tendency to complain sometimes, like, oh, as soon as something doesn't work out, I'm like, oh my goodness, this isn't working out, and I start complaining. So I am really going to work on that today. It is a great challenge. Keeping positive and keeping positive thoughts really changes the outcome of your day. It can turn your day from having a bad day into a good day or vice versa. But also, to start out a good day is to eat something healthy and nutritious and filling as well to get your day started. So I am still trending with those healthy recipes that use a few ingredients, but they're real whole ingredients as well, nothing processed. So today we are going to be making some blueberry banana muffins. What you'll need for this is 4 ripe bananas, and we are going to just mash them in our bowl. You can do this with a fork. If you have a little pastry cutter like this, it's great for mashing. If you have a handheld potato masher, anything will work. You could use a fork even. You want to make sure that your bananas are pretty ripe and soft and make for easier mashing as well and a better consistency because this is going to be like the base of our muffins. Bananas are, being a fruit, they're a great natural sweetener full of natural sugars, along with other great nutritional aspects as well, like that potassium that's really great for us. So we're going to mash these up. And then this only has about 3 or 4 more ingredients. Super simple, but they make a delicious muffin. We're going to be using a coconut flour today, a less processed flour than your traditional white flour. And then we're going to be using 3 eggs, a 1/4 cup of coconut oil melted, and then we're just going to be adding a little bit of cinnamon, a teaspoon of baking soda to really help hold these muffins together and help them rise a little bit. And then you can have what I love to call our add-ins, or anything additional you'd like to add to your muffins. They're optional and not necessary, but can be a great addition to your muffin to change them up. So we're doing blueberries today. If you want to, you can throw some chocolate chips in there. You can do the sugar-free kind. You can use the keto-friendly chips, which are made with the sugar alcohols. Whatever you'd like. You could also use a dark chocolate. But I am going with a fruit today, adding those blueberries in for some extra antioxidants here in the morning. All right, so once our bananas are mashed, what we're going to do next is we have our 1/4 cup. I just have some coconut oil from the store, and I melted a 1/4 cup down in a little bowl here. And yep, it's pretty cool. I wanted to make sure it cooled down before I added my eggs. We are going to add 3 eggs to this, but we're going to whisk the coconut oil and the eggs together first before we add them to our bananas. It'll help us incorporate that better into the batter. So we're just going to put the eggs right in the bowl with the coconut oil. And then I'm just going to lightly whisk them together until these 2 items are combined. And then we'll add them to our bananas. Now, if you don't have a coconut oil, or pardon me, a coconut flour, you can use almond flour, or if you need to, you can use your all-purpose flour. But again, we're trying to stay away from those processed foods. So a coconut flour is a more natural flour to use in your baking and cooking. All right, so we're just going to carefully whip up these eggs. Just use your whisk right in your bowl. You can use your fork also if you don't have a whisk. Perfect. And then we're going to add this right to our 4 mashed bananas. And then we're going to mix that together. And in the meantime, you can be preheating your oven to 350 degrees. This batch will make 12 to 15 muffins. I believe, yep, they're regular size muffins. They're not your mini muffins, but if you want to do the mini muffins, it'll probably at least make the whole pan of 24 plus a few. All right, so our banana, oil, and egg are getting mixed together well. What we're going to add next, I like to add my spices next to mix those in, and then the flour. So we're going to add a teaspoon of cinnamon. So let's open that up. And then we're also going to add a teaspoon of baking soda. Again, if you're gluten-free, you do not need to use the baking soda. I believe with gluten intolerances, I believe you can use baking powder. Don't quote me on that. There's also arrowroot, which you could possibly substitute as well. But I'm going to use the baking soda. It's just 1 teaspoon of that. And all this is going right into the same bowl, because you know we love 1 bowl baking here. Less dishes, the better. So I'm going to start incorporating those spices and the baking soda. And then lastly, I'm going to add our 1/2 cup of coconut flour right to the batter as well. If you want to, you can add a pinch of salt to this. I tend not to ever add salt in my baked goods. Typically, if I'm baking, sometimes I have butters and such. I use salted butters. This having coconut oil, you might, if want to add that pinch of salt. Sometimes salt will help bring out flavors. So it's just 1/2 cup of that coconut flour. And that's all there is to it. A very simple recipe, few ingredients, all nutritious. And these are going to bake in the oven for approximately 12 to 15 minutes. Now, again, check on them. When you read in the notes in the recipe, they say sometimes if you may need to cook them a little longer. So use a toothpick or a knife to check the center to make sure they're not too wet in the center. Coconut flour can be a little less absorbing than a white flour, so sometimes it might take a little longer to bake. At this point, you can put those wonderful add-ins if that's what you're doing. Again, you don't need them. This could just be a great little banana cinnamon muffin, but I'm going to add in about 1/2 cup of blueberries. I have some great blueberries here that I just washed, and then I washed the container and I put them back in the container, so it's very handy. I'm going to get about 1/2 cup of these. Let's see how well this works out for me by pouring it like this. All right. And I'm just going to put those right in my batter as well. And I'm just going to fold those in, trying not to smash them. And that is it, folks. Simple muffins are going to be delicious and nutritious. That you're in your week 3 here of cleaning up your diet and eating healthier, and you're doing great. I hope everyone has had a great week. I'll be back later with a wonderful dinner idea. It's going to be a spinach and artichoke chicken dish, so stay tuned for that, and also stay tuned for all the health and wellness lives that are going on today. We have stretching and workouts of the day. We also have Learn to Knit, and we have more great live shows for you all throughout the day. So stay tuned. I'll be back later tonight with a dinner recipe, and if I don't see you then, enjoy your weekend.